Guys, round two of the video for today on the FIU bridge collapse. It's kind of cool. Now, I only watched it right up to here when I started the video, so it would be nice to see the last 30 seconds with you guys. But let's go to first my videos of what I did get to. I decided to make a part two video instead of just shoving it into one video. As you guys see here that Denny Pate, as I wrote in a video back in August 19th, Denny Pate tells VSL to put post-tension back to where it was before move. This is very important because I stopped and decided to make the video because I saw the lawyers step forward and try to say that they want the public to stop getting this data. They don't want the public to get the data, not my data, but the data in general. They think it should be more private. I have no idea why it should be private. They took public funds, right? Federal money. So I have no idea what their claim is, the protection of that. It would give a false sense of security. That's shoring up the bridge. I just did that video too. This is my wording, quoting from a federal report. So I can't be slandered on this one because the federal report had it in it. Even if they edit it, doesn't matter. It had it in it at one time, so my quote is solid. And they obviously thought it was a real quote to put in their report. So I'm safe. No slander, anything else. Though I still stand by both of these statements. All right, so let's go for there. Let's play it. So this is kind of cool. This is so I wish they would. I wish this guy for some critiquing. I wish he would had more access. But let's critique their data.
Of engineers just hours before the pedestrian bridge collapsed at FIU last year. That crucial meeting was discussed during arguments and lawsuits stemming from that disaster.
It does that. It's a replay.
And only NBC6 investigator Tony Pipitone was there.
Let's give a little heads up on that when she said that, if that is true, to Tony Pipitone, this guy here. I've seen a couple of his reports now. You know, I don't know where he's getting his data from, but at least he's there, right? Let's go from there. So if she's true that the only one is there, I could research that about other reports, but everyone else is just copying what he's saying then, right?
Tony.
The details come from previously sealed court records obtained today by the NBC6 investigators and arguments among lawyers in cases that involve the families of 6 who died and 13 injured. They're suing 25 defendants in a massive case no one is yet willing to settle. So finally, some facts are starting to come out. 5 hours before disaster on A Street, the FIG Bridge engineer of record, Denny Pate, met with colleagues from FIU, FDOT, and others to discuss what FIG was going to do about a bridge that was cracking.
I think it's only fair that I show their entire video so I don't critique it wrongly. So that's kind of cool, right, so far?
Today, Judge Jennifer Bailey set the stage.
Let's face it, we all know it, right? This meeting is a really critical event.
So critical that
So do you notice her head shaking? Yes and no. Yes and no. Even she, you know, in psychology, unless she's got a tremor, she's got some contrary stuff going on in her head. Not everybody signals like that. So unless she's false signaling, she has a tremor. She's actually saying contrary statements to us right now. So it's one of those three. Not everybody triggers like that. Like if I tell you something's green, I can tell you something's green without shaking my head, even though it's purple. But some people have this problem where they try to call it green when it's really red. They'll start shaking their head no when they call it green, and they shake their head no. She appears to be one of them. So looking at her, this judge is... We're getting a stacked deck with this judge, psychologically. You know I get that deep into stuff. Here we go.
Today, Judge Jennifer Bailey set the stage.
Let's face it, we all know it, right? This meeting is a really critical event.
So critical, the National
And she shook her head on a slight angle there, which is a part no and yes. So, you know, analyzing, you guys come up with what you think that is. Now, again, if she talks like that all the time, all bets are off. So if you can get her to say green, and she says it's green, and she shakes her head, it's green, then she's got some type of, you know, head-shaking thing going on. Here we go.
Transportation
I'm going to watch more of that.
Has forbidden the minutes be released.
So NTSB has forbidden that minutes be released. Forbidden it. This is the federal government forbidding the minutes be released. So that shows you the interest there. It's not in the interest of just letting data come out, the public.
a year after 6 people died here. But in court Wednesday, the NBC6 investigators got the first look at what Minute Show was discussed that morning as the lawyer for another defendant, the Louis Berger Group, summarized the meeting.
So Louis Berger was there. That's the guy that did. Louis Berger's the one that did the affirmation of the plans after Denny Plate handed over. I believe that's when I did a video saying I believe that you could see the stamps here, and then you could see the new version 2017 stamps pop up. That I believe that Louis Berger did put his finger on it, and then they updated. Then Denny Plate updated his plans. So here's a lawyer for apparently the lawyer for Louis Berger.
It concludes after what it describes about an hour of review and evaluation that this bridge should be retention.
Okay, let's go back there. So Louis Berger says, well, obviously was present then, apparently has the knowledge of what's going on, said that after 1 hour, that it was decided the bridge should be retention. Let's go back to what this attorney says, not throwing Denny Pate under the bus by saying specifically Denny Pate said it. Let's see.
Another defendant, the Louis Berger Group, summarized the meeting.
FIG concludes after what...
Correct. She just says FIG. So my correction to that, she just says FIG concluded. So I guess you just don't want to be specific. Maybe she wants to throw the whole thing under FIG. Which... So it is FIG. Denny Pate is FIG. I'm just trying to think if you want to be more inclusive by saying FIG and not just Denny Pate. That way it protects. You don't want to. You want to go with the bigger pockets. FIG. Okay, let's go from there. Yeah, he's not representing himself. Yeah, I take that back. So he's not representing himself. He is representing FIG. So yeah, I like that version of it. Here we go.
It describes about an hour of review and evaluation that this bridge should be retention.
That decision.
And should be retentioned. And I told you guys that in a video here. That tells VSL to put back to where it was before move, meaning retentioning. I did a 23-minute video. You guys can find it here. I specifically said this, and I said it back in August 19th. I told you guys about that. That Denny Pate said, put it back, tension it back to where it was before the move. Irrespective of what's going on, or let's creep up to it, let's check it out, let's monitor it, just put it back. It was like, bam, I don't care, just put it back. The tension, it's just craziness. Awesomely so. She's also going to state where, you guys know I did many videos on this where I was triggered by it, saying, look, it does not say to retension this bridge. It does not say to retention the bridge. One, go back and then retention it. It's not part of the formula. And here she says it in court now. Here we go. And that was not in any of the things I've seen here. It was just part of my research looking at the document saying I do not see retentioning. This is part of the defense of Louis Berger against FIG, stating that they do not say to retention. She's going to say it right now. And this one I was so excited. I said, let me start a video for you guys.
Decision made 2 days earlier. Workers were arriving on site to do the work as the meeting continued.
The decision to retention is not on any drawing approved by anyone.
Stop right there. The decision to retention is not on any drawing approved by anyone. So there you go. And I kept telling you guys that majorly triggered on that. Kept saying they should not be up there retentioning. There should be another, if they're going to retention, then they need to get that approved. You know, they're changing the whole thing. And I said that in a few of these videos, but you guys can go here and here. And now you see that's part of the court case. So all this rhetoric that I've been speaking for months now is part of the court case now. Just the way my brain thinks. Obviously, like this lady here. Go on, or like it's going on. Here we go.
Any drawing approved by anyone.
FIG's lawyer objected, saying too much was being made public.
That's their objection. Too much is being made public. Not I object that we didn't say that, or it's not true, but we object that that's being made public. Really. That's his lawyer, not FIG, as far as I understand.
I'm taking Your Honor's order about not disclosing things very seriously.
But the judge said it's time for at least some facts to come out.
Your client has a choice, right? Let me just be blunt here. You can either settle this case, or we're going to discuss what happened out there.
Okay, that is the way she communicates, I would say, because she's obviously upset. Her statement is very clear So my previous analysis, I would say this judge can give you a false positive or negative with the way she communicates. It's like a diagonal yes and no talk. It's weird, but it's odd. Not weird, odd. Odd for me. Odd. Just go on.
And the citizens of Miami-Dade County and everybody that's watching this case
Okay, up and down.
have the right to know.
For instance, the minutes show.
Okay, so the citizens, she says everybody's got the right to know. So now she's the judge, and he's saying that the judge already had a previous order, so this lady's violating the order. And now the judge just made this statement. So now that's obviously an amended order. Once you start speaking like that, that's my take on what the judge is clearly making it state. All right, here we go. Let's see the minutes.
Fig assured the others there is not any concern with the safety of the span suspended over the road.
Well, he added the word suspended over the road, but that is what I've seen in other documents of this video of this court case. But the quote shows this, but they said suspended over the road, which I found very, very telling to me when I saw a couple articles that said suspended over the road. Well, what do you mean by that? You mean the other part is this part is not suspended over the road is not an issue? If Fig said that there's no issue with any of the bridge suspended over the road, well, perhaps technically he's right. It's not suspended over the road, is it? It's over the pier and it's over the shoulder. So technically he would be right. But since that section is structurally tied in, he would technically be wrong. Here we go.
Asked whether temporary shoring should be brought in to reinforce the bridge, Fig said it was not necessary.
So this is obviously a retake of the word. Maybe they stipulate that they will do this wording, was not necessary. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes they can make an argument that Denny Page said this. Denny Page said, false sense of security. Where are you, baby? It would give a false sense of security. So maybe they said to proceed or whatever. I don't know how you could take this out. Why they would stipulate that they would allow this downplaying of words. This is craziness to say was not necessary. And there's no ... which means there's more after it. There's no not ... which means there's more before it. But yet they use a small, not a capital W. If we, thinking grammar, and I'm no grammar expert, but I'm an analysis expert anyway. This is telling in itself. There's no period here. So this is snatched out of something, but without the ... dots and without the dot behind it and ... So this is snatched from inside a wording. With that said, we're looking at apparently the video, a live feed from that someone was able to get from one of the reporters. The video. If I can only snatch this up. I just got some free data from one of the attorney's documents, and hopefully they won't look at my video and see that they need to hide their documents a little better. And just for you guys to know, they could use a glare. It's a one-sided glare where you can only see it from one angle. They're so cheap that they're not covering their documents with a document that does not allow people to see from a different angle. Literally, my crazy self uses that sometimes in a meeting. I'll put a anti-glare document, a sheet over here where I can see it. Somebody sitting next to me might be able to see it, but the second person over, no chance. They can read my notes. I can't make this out, but let's let it play and see what we can make it out. Great. I pressed pause and I thought space bar.
And showing what it said were conservative calculations.
Included no safety concern. I'm trying to read the notes. I'm trying to see if the camera shakes and allows us. If it shakes a little bit, might refocus. Boy, there's some good data right here. If you guys want to come to this video and beat me to it, I'd welcome it.
Fig concluded there is no safety concern. But as a crew was carrying out the retensioning of one truss, as Fig had...
Okay, so Fig concluded it could be his own quote. That's one of the tricks well, I'm not saying, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus on that. Let's go on.
Had ordered, catastrophe struck. In court, Fig argued the minutes are not accurate and sent their own version to the NTSB 6 weeks after the collapse.
Right.
But we don't have the complete minutes, either version. Earlier, workers were arriving on site to do the work as the meeting continued.
The decision to retention is not on any drawing approved by anyone.
Stop right there. That's what I'm going to end the video with. That is what the major thing is all about there, guys. The decision to retention is not on any drawing whatsoever. That's it. That is it. You just can't arbitrarily just try to make things go back in time by just saying retention it back to the way it was. I'm terminating the video. You guys can see my videos here. Again, if you want to grab the titles, you can go back there and play around with that to get a refresh of what I stated. And feel free to correct me, update me if you want to.